All right. Good morning, everyone.
Good
My
morning.
name
Morning.
is. Good morning. Welcome to our second Women of Wellness panel. This is an exciting day because we've brought together new friends, old friends, people who have all been in my own life. And, um, now it's kind of this bringing together with all of the things that they've done on their own to create wellness for others. So I'll introduce everyone. The first person to my right is Wanda. Wanda Petersen is a biologist, educator, and community herbalist passionate about plants and helping others live healthy, joyful lives. Originally from Costa Rica, she now lives near Pittsburgh, PA, where she tends a forest and medicinal herb garden. She owns Agua y Fuego Medicinals and teaches botany and natural healing. Wanda holds a BS in biology from the University of Costa Rica, a master's in education and curriculum and instruction from Penn State. I also went to Penn State for nutrition sciences, so we have something in common. And she is a certified master gardener through Phipps Conservatory. She taught biology, environmental education, and Spanish in public and private schools. She trained at the Florida School of Holistic Living under Emily Ruff and Maggie O'Halloran. Wanda continues to expand her herbal knowledge through conferences and apprenticeships. Her latest project, a medicinal plant sanctuary, teaches others to identify, care for, and use medicinal plants, empowering people to take charge of their own health.
Yes, thank you.
That's really cool. That's really, you've been all over.
Yeah, I think I definitely like a lot of different things. And I'd say I wear a lot of hats, but my hat right now is herbalism.
That's so awesome. Yeah. So welcome, Wanda.
Thank you.
And now Erin. Erin Scanlon is an intuitive Reiki master, empowerment coach, and digital solutions and change management consultant who bridges the gap. I know. Who bridges the gap between personal growth and professional transformation. She believes energetic alignment is for everyone, and that when we learn to balance our energy, we create the life we truly want to live. With a diverse background in wellness, coaching, and strategy, Erin helps individuals and teams reconnect with their inner power and purpose. Her approach is grounded in the belief that every experience, even the challenging ones, holds value and potential for growth. Reiki offers a powerful way to release what no longer serves us and make space for what does, opening us up to a higher view and deeper clarity. Erin teaches yoga and fitness, a lot of it, with a focus on strength, mindful movement, and intuitive awareness, and always bringing a sense of fun to every practice. Very true. She supports individuals through energy alignment sessions, empowerment card readings, and group workshops that foster mindset shifts and whole self transformation, helping others live joyfully empowered lives.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Erin.
It's true. All of those things.
Yes. I could say that joy is always a part of our interactions.
Yes.
Yes. Yep.
Absolutely.
Even whenever you're holding plank for a really long time.
Even when you're holding plank.
Even we can be
Even
joyful.
We can be joyful. We can see the beauty in the challenge.
Yes, it does. It does challenge us. Yeah. And Sharayah Fanning is an intuitive healer dedicated to helping others connect with the deeper subconscious layers of themselves. Through her work, she brings hidden aspects to conscious awareness, facilitating healing, personal growth, and empowerment. She is a Kundalini master practitioner and has been practicing as a Reiki master and cacao ceremony facilitator for 2 years. Her holistic approach combines energy work with intuitive guidance, creating a space for profound transformation and inner alignment. And I've gotten Reiki from Sharyah, and she is highly intuitive. I still think about our session. Yeah. And I've had very, deeper awareness of when you have somebody else reflecting on what your inner state is,
Yeah.
like that's a pretty profound thing.
Yeah.
And we also run into each other at
Just randomly.
the random moments where
Fitness
we're
classes.
like, yeah, concerts.
Concerts, yes.
Now, you know, Tom and her always see each other
Yes.
now, my husband, and runs into her.
The coffee shop.
Yeah, all the time. Like, okay, so we're family now.
We are family.
So what we're going to do with this session is the questions will be open to everyone. They're not for anyone specifically. And they're really to just give whoever's listening or whoever's viewing this session more insight, more thought behind what it is that you do. I've experienced these sessions, or I've been in the presence of herbalists, Reiki masters, and there's something that I think needs to be brought out to the open. Like, I think there's a conversation that needs to happen, not just around, you know, medicine as a healing tool, but just as what we all have the capacity to use for our own, you know, our own wellness. Like,
Yeah.
it's not this thing that can't be accessed. You know, it's very accessible, and I want people to know that that it's accessible, and that we often limit ourselves with maybe our thinking or maybe bias or just not enough education. So that's what these conversations are really all about. So, question for those who might not know about Reiki or herbalism, how would you explain your practice in simple terms? And do you hear echoes of each other's work whenever you hear these conversations? So listen to what somebody else is saying, and, you know, tell me, how would you explain your practice? Sure.
Well, I always say that it's scientifically proven that everything is energy. And so with that, I always explain that Reiki, Ray is the higher consciousness. That's our intuition in simple terms. You know, when I say, when you meet someone and their vibes are off, you know, that's intuitive energy speaking, and everyone feels that. But through my practice and connecting deeper into that, I just have a more heightened intuition, you know, and I think every practitioner is different. We have all different gifts that we can offer in our intuitive, you know, connection. So the ray is the higher consciousness to that intuitive connection. And then the key is the life force energy. So it's the, you know, energy that connects into the person you're practicing on. So that's how I explain it, even though it's still kind of, you know, can be a little esoteric, or however you want to connect to it. But really, we can all acknowledge that everything is energy. So that's where I start. And there's an energy exchange going on all the time between everything and everyone. And so that's kind of where I start explaining things.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I'll build right off of you because you set the stage perfectly. Right. And Reiki, it translates to universal life force. So when we think about how everything is energy, what do we learn in school? Well, we learn math, we learn English, but oftentimes our intuition and that connection to self and even energy, we're taught to squish it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And not believe it. Well, what are the facts? Why do you, I don't know, I feel it. Not good enough. So Reiki is a tool, a modality. It allows you to connect within, and it's really that balancing of the energy that is already within you and harmonizing it and expanding it and teaching each person, you've already got it. You've already got it inside you.
It's the acknowledgement of it.
And
because
the awareness.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Aw, that just makes me so it's like, just, yes, the Reiki. I did level.
Reiki is happening right
Reiki's
now.
happening
It is.
right now.
It's here.
It's everywhere. Yeah, like giving people like tangible, you know, things to think about. Like, whenever you have a feeling or whenever you don't feel like you have your intuition about something, but
Yeah.
you feel closed off to allowing that to be shared. And it's kind of this Reiki is the practitioner is the one who's kind of guiding it along. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So what about herbalism? How do you see, how do you explain herbalism to people who haven't been
Yeah. So obviously herbalism has to do with herbs, where that's the word
yes.
come from. But I practice herbalism based on the philosophy of vitalism. So
Love that.
the vitalism looks upon the body and sees as a live being that can cure and it can balance itself. So herbalism, what it does is help with those imbalances and bring those imbalances. So, for example, this body that we have is, it has the potential to heal itself, but because maybe we have done things that we're not supposed to, eating the wrong things or get into a stress or things like that, then we have some blockages of that vital energy in our body that doesn't allow us to use that vital energy to heal ourselves. So herbalism not only use herbs, but the first thing we actually assess is food. It's like your diet, like and that's the most important thing. How you're getting nutrients in your body, and then obviously herbs and other modalities of healing. So we not only see that energy or not only assess the energy of the person, but also the energy of the herbs that you're using and the energy of the condition. So we have to learn about the energetics. That's the word that we use in herbalism? The energetics of all of those three.
Yeah.
Because I was just teaching a class last weekend. I was just explaining how, for example, I give them all a tea. I didn't say what it is. And I tell them, tell me what you feel. Is nothing wrong. And they all told me different things. I mean, some similar things. And then I said that herb has its own energy, but in your body, it feels different. And you can see how everybody felt different. So it's important to know, as an herbalist, that studied for a long time, it's important to know all those things because we can give the same herb to everybody and it's going to be the same. So as we work also with that energy
And
if there is-
intuition.
and
Yeah.
if there is
Yeah.
there's a blockage in that energy, there's a problem. So it has to be a flow in that. So yeah, it's like I don't only work with herbs, but I work with definitely with a lot of nutrition. Like
Yeah.
I heard that you did nutrition, so that's a very important part of it. And other things like, for example, sleep that is super important. And
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you right now. Sleep is so important. And nutrition too. I think, I studied it for a long time. I still study it and I still research it, but it's shifted for me. And I don't think what I learned at the beginning is where I landed at the end with nutrition, and it'll probably continue to evolve. But I see it as like what your, the keys that unlock the cells, like the keys that unlock the molecules down to the energy in the molecules between each atom is what you're putting in your body. So you better make it count. That's my personal opinion. But this isn't about nutrition. I'll get off my soapbox. So let's talk about collaboration and integration of these things. If somebody wanted to combine Reiki and herbal remedies in their wellness routine, how could these practices support one another?
Well, I'll start us.
You're ready.
Reiki teaches you a deeper understanding and awareness of what you need. So if you think of Reiki as a muscle, And if you went to the gym, right, and you picked up a 20-pound weight, you might not be able to lift it at first.
Yeah.
So you might start with the 3 pounds and then you work your way up. Well, Reiki, like your intuition is a muscle in and of that. So it's establishing a deeper awareness and understanding of what you need. So I think by being in a place of deeper awareness, you innately and intuitively start to realize what your body is craving for nourishment. And then I think that that's the perfect balance. Like I know that when I'm really aware of what I need, sometimes it's a drink of water. I really feel like I just need some vegetables or something green. Like I get a sense of that because we're not disconnected.
Yeah.
So the more intuitive we are about ourselves, the more we realize what we need. And then that might lead us to a path to say, yeah, maybe I need to talk with someone who can tell me what type of herbs would support me best.
Yeah. And find balance.
Yeah, and going with that example, herbalism really help for example, the gut health. Like if intuition comes from
Yes.
this area, right? And usually, especially in women, I always said, you have to help your gut and also your womb because that's where there's a lot of nerves there. It's like some people say it's the other brain, and that's where our intuition comes from. There's so many things going on there. So there are herbs that help with that, and different practices, and Reiki could be one of them. But yeah, I definitely agree that you can combine things, and the more you become aware of your body, the easier it is to know what it needs. And the more we actually teach our children too. I think, for example, my daughter is in a better place than I was when at the age that she is now, because she's super aware of her body. She knows when she needs, anything, because she grew up with, with natural healing and herbs. And so, it's really important for kids, especially, to start like noticing, oh, I need this. You know?
Yeah, I had my great grandmother was from Italy, but like everything was like, nothing was out of a box. That's it. Like everything was like, here's lavender chamomile tea at bedtime. It was just like innate that like you use things to help balance you out. Like she was a big proponent of, you know, just the lavender thing, like for all over your house, like lavender to just like calm the space. But my question is, do you study more than herbs? Like, so I know that the herbs are a classification, but does this become a bigger conversation about plants in general, or is it just herbs? Like, would you consider garlic, some of those like highly sulfurous plants, herbs or medicinal?
Yeah, so we were talking in terms of herbs for herbalism, we're talking about plants, but are we also talking about other things like mushrooms, algae? So it's just depending of the definition of herbs, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely garlic is one of the ones that I use the most. If people know, people that know me as an herbalist, they say, oh yeah, Wanda use garlic all the time. There was a joke about it in one of my classes, like, yeah, Wanda is going to suggest garlic. Because, garlic is amazing. It's like, it can, I can go on and on and on about garlic. There's this herbalist, Paul Bergner, that made a whole book about recipes that you can use with garlic for healing. So yeah, we use all kinds of different things. I mostly focus in plants, but it's just like it's hard. Like when you're in the forest and you see the mushroom and the mushroom's calling. I ended learning about mushrooms too, and I'm also a biologist and I study algae as well. And algae are amazing; they're very important for your health too. So it's like you get in one and then you end it in the other and the other.
Yeah.
But yeah, mostly it's plants. But in general, but there's other things.
Interesting.
Well, and Carla, it makes me think about how great it is that you're doing this wellness panel and this series, because I do believe it's this gateway. You start to go down one pathway and you find one tool and you're like, wow, this is awesome.
Mhm.
And then it leads you, it's that curiosity that leads you into other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just being open to things like that. Like I feel like everything seems like it's in a box all the time.
Mhm.
And we get so
Mm.
comfortable with just that box, and then something happens, and then you see a little sliver of light and you're like, oh, it's like Alice in Wonderland, I guess.
Yeah.
But the conversations that I've had with people who have gone outside the box have been so much more interesting to me. And I've questioned my own um, patterns or behaviors because of it. So, but I don't think that's to say anything I did before was wrong. I just feel like it's, just a simple guiding to like what else is out there, because we're in a giant universe of stuff that's all energy, and we're not connecting to a lot of it that's available to us.
Yeah. And what's meant for you will never miss you. So sometimes it's
Sure.
just around timing. So as you said, you might not have known it at one point, but
Yeah.
it'll come back. It'll come back around.
Or make sense like why you made a choice at one
Yes.
point and then later on
Yes.
it'll all click together. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like, well, and you have this story of like going off and being an entrepreneur
Mhm.
and then realizing like more about yourself. You
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
realize that.
Yeah. I feel like for me, my journey in building because I have a vegan bakery business and then I also have my intuitive energy healing business. But really, I learned through my vegan business was trusting my intuition and quieting the noise. I always like to say that because I think a lot of us think we have to follow a
Mhm.
format, and usually it is somebody else's. And not that you can't take
Yeah.
advice from that, but you still have your own path to follow, and you always have to come back to what is my inner self, my inner voice telling me about my specific path.
Yeah.
And I think that each of us kind of have touched on, even with what you shared about how every human, even if you give, 10 people a certain herb, it's going to respond differently in their bodies because we're all uniquely different.
Mhm.
And pairing, you know, herbalism on a cellular level and then Reiki on an energetic level. What I witness in my practice is that every single person that I work with is uniquely different. And that divine expression, that what we connect to intuitively reflects back to each person,
Mhm.
gives them that light to that they have a path that they
Mhm.
specific for them to follow. And so going back to what I started with about my vegan bakery business, that was built off of just me following myself, and taking advice from other people, but
Yeah.
and that can be applied across the board. That's not just, your purpose, it's your health, all of it. Just listen, coming back to the self, coming back to your inner voice and what is that telling you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Reiki did you do Reiki and then realize you should be a vegan baker?
It was the opposite. So
Okay.
I always knew that I wanted to work in healing. Like
Mhm.
something I always felt, even when I was young, and people would be, I talk to people and they'd be like, you should be a therapist or whatever. But certain things just never aligned with me.
Mhm.
And I just always knew that whatever I did would be my own specific thing, whatever, using my gifts, which I know we all have
Sure.
to, help others and be of service. So it was more so the vegan bakery business kind of gave
Mhm.
me the starting point to know that um, through just me following that, I can
Mhm.
connect with others and I can
Mhm.
share gifts. So that was more of my passion. And then, but always, my heart was always guiding me back to healing. What was I going to do with that? Whatever that was about me that could connect to others,
Yeah.
and how can I help them?
I feel like vegan baking too is also helping. I feel
Yeah.
like it is. Like people
Yeah.
are like, feel that they get energy, they feel the
Yes.
love,
The love
you're
through it. Yeah. So
giving
there's
people,
like Reiki in
yeah.
it. you know,
there
essentially.
absolutely is.
So yeah. So that's how it kind of
yeah,
went.
parlayed into
Parlayed, yeah.
Yeah, there's probably something else it's gonna parlay into too.
Yeah.
Like we all have like these
Absolutely.
paths that we diverge into.
Mhm.
Okay, let me keep going. I'm sorry. I like really love
Good
talking about this.
conversations.
So Reiki often focuses on energy flow, and herbalism draws on the wisdom of plants. How do you each see the natural world influencing your work?
Well, for me, it's like all I do. So, I'm a biologist, I'm an herbalist. So my passion is, plants and the nature, itself. And before I became an herbalist, I actually work in biology and work with animals and plants. And so I'm always very connected with it. But in herbalism, it's all about nature. And one of the things that I've seen, coming from Costa Rica and being living in this country is how separate, humans are from nature, especially here. And, that is by itself medicine, like now there's people that are training to take people for walks. That is like crazy
Yeah.
for me. I mean,
You're
it's
not wrong.
beautiful,
Yeah,
but
I
at the
know.
same time, it's crazy that we actually have to like pay someone to take us to the woods.
I texted Sharayah yesterday. She's like, "Sorry, I was just walking in the
It was
woods."
like on an 8-mile hike.
Which,
Yeah.
and then there's practices and they do beautiful things. And some people need that because they're so disconnected and they
Yeah.
need guidance because they don't know how to do it. Or maybe they need guidance because they're afraid of the woods and they don't know it. And I
Yeah.
understand it. But that's how, separate we are from that.
Yeah.
And so for my practice, I love like being with the plants and learning from the plants. And so one of them, one of these days, taught me about resilience, and it's just beautiful. This is the mullein plant, which it has a big stalk with beautiful yellow flowers, and when it's in the open, it's like really big and it's beautiful. I love mullein. But then it grew in a part in my garden where it didn't have much sun, so it started kind of going down and it went up, and it did so many like turns to go to the sun, and it was beautiful to see. I needed that. It was like, that's resilient, that's
Yeah.
how like the plant adapt to what it has at that moment, but it's still beautiful. Still like grew this beautiful yellow flowers. So those are things that plants help me to learn that I can pass on to people. And just watching my dog, for example, he never eats when he's stressed. No, he never eats when nobody's in the house. So it's like, that's what we should do. We can't eat when we're in stress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The food is not going to be the same. So I think it's very important to, learn from the plants. They are really given. They are, they're always teaching us. They're always, giving things to us, really big gifts. So yeah, for me, it's like it's everything.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
I can go on and on,
I'm
but
sure.
you guys go ahead.
Well, no, but I will 100% build off of what you said. One of my favorite phrases is nature is our greatest teacher. And you think about it, the tulip that's in the ground doesn't worry if it's going to make it through the mulch. I'm always impressed by this. I'm like, that little tulip's never going to make it out. And it does, right? It finds a way. The trees don't stress that they're losing their leaves. So it shows us that even some of these emotions or things that come up for us, it is really natural for how we are and how can we learn from it. When I feel scattered, I step outside, I plant my feet in the earth. It grounds me, right? When I feel as though everything is closing in on me, I step outside, I look to the sky, I see the openness and the possibilities. My friend and I, Brianna Gostinelli, she and I are about to launch an empowered living coaching card series. It's a deck. And we, instead of using different images or photography, we're actually using photos of nature that were all taken from friends and family. So there's the intention and power of the nature within every one of these cards taken from all over the earth. And the premise is connect, shift, live. And that's really where I come back to the nature. Like nature shows us exactly what
We are
need.
nature.
Yeah.
We are, yeah.
We are nature.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
We are.
So-
Right. Why do we think we're separate
We are.
from it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What about like a real life example of like somebody who comes in feeling like, you know, all the things whenever they're disconnected, like burnt out, anxious, no ray, no key,
No key.
no nothing,
None of that.
right? Like, what is something? Where do you see, like how you usually approach helping that person, and then do you see? Well, I think we all see, but like maybe paint that picture of like what could somebody who is feeling that way like benefit from all these things or more. You know, you don't have to keep it to our panel. I mean, I teach yoga, so we teach yoga, so you can put and movement, you know, but right. Well, how would you see about that particular person walking in?
I can
Yeah.
share. Because most people that do come to Reiki usually are at that point.
Yeah.
And they need some type of assistance. But I think the key word across everything is disconnected. I think most people are feeling disconnected from nature, from themselves,
Yeah.
from their emotions. And with Reiki, you know, like, people's emotions get stuck and manifest physically in their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times people think that their emotions are bigger than them. And I like to say that nothing is bigger than you because it is you. You know, we are not taught very well how to manage our emotions. We're taught to treat emotions as a symptom, and, you know, sometimes not knocking medicine, but sometimes that's the first go-to that we go to and kind of shut that down. But if we can teach people through practices like Reiki and herbalism and different things that our bodies are very powerful, and they're meant to process emotions. We're meant to feel those things. It's not something that's, you know, bigger than us, like I said. So assisting with Reiki every single time, you know, there hasn't been a session where someone has come to me if they're feeling a certain way at the end. They're like, oh, I feel relaxed and I feel calm. But that's them. That is you. You know, that I was assisting in that, but that is the person and our connection, and me just mirroring back to them, you know, that you have the capacity to calm yourself and work through that and process the emotions.
Yeah.
A human connection is imperative in that process. But, you know, that's what I experience with Reiki, is just people having the space to process an emotion and move that energy, because it's energy. Everything's energy. So, yeah.
We're thinking that an emotion, I love how you're talking about emotions. I feel the same, that emotions are bad.
Right.
Like, why is overwhelm bad? Do we think it's bad? I mean, it's really just, is it a place for us to instead have a deeper awareness to say, is there something I need?
Yeah.
Right? So there's something I don't have, or is
I
the
can't access
and
now
or is the
because I'm so disconnected.
or is the overwhelm because we are not filling ourselves with what does spark our fire, right? Is it that we're being called to a shift? So it lets us, even these emotions that we may not want to feel, like, what's the value in sinking into them, understanding them, and then choosing to say, do I want to keep this, or is it time to release it and let it go and let something else come in?
Definitely. Yeah.
And in herbalism, like what we do, it's, you know, when a person come, like there's a interview, you know, and we assess like all the levels, you know, like the physical level, but also the emotional level, like, you know, you were expressing.
The
So it's not, you know, it's not something that is just physical, but it could be something else. And sometimes people say, you know, I have like a bad headache, but it's because, you know, they have been stressed, or, you know, there's so many different things that could go on and on. So when you do the interview, then you kind of let the person to express themselves, and sometimes they just want to be heard.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
Absolutely.
it. But and that's what they needed. So sometimes when you go to the doctor, it's like 15 minutes, right? You can't even express what you came from.
Yeah.
But herbalists will give the space for that person to like express, and then in that process, you figured out what is wrong, what is
Yeah,
actually
what the
wrong, and
root
not maybe what they came for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think these things, like what you're saying is like, if you're not tuned in, if you are disconnected, it almost feels like, what's wrong with me? You feel skepticism because you're like almost frustrated. Like and that causes like more tension and all these things. Like you're like, I just need balance. And the more I feel like we shift towards that imbalance, the further and further away we get from balance. It's like all these things get you back to
That's right.
your center. It's not that you did anything wrong. It could be millions of things, billions of things that shift your energy out of that space where everybody is different. You need something different than me to balance you at this particular moment and time. And so I think surrounding ourselves or having the conversations with people who are aware of the specific ways to come back to balance in different ways. With Jen, she does sound, like that can help bring you back into balance with energy, with sound energy and with light energy. With Reiki, with being like the conduit or the,
Channel.
facilitator in the channel for bringing the Reiki through you, really just releasing, and herbs because you eat every single day, and those things can spark energy within you. So it's almost like taking all of these things from the places where we the places that we can around us, but acknowledging that they're there whenever we get out of balance. Okay. So I just want to say that we are getting close to the end of our session. So let's talk about really quick where people can find you. So we all know each other. We know how to find each other. But for anybody listening, where can somebody find you?
The best place is on Instagram. It's at Sharayah_Robin.
Okay.
And I usually post my appointments in my stories. I'm currently in the process of finishing my website, so that will be up hopefully very soon. So that will make it a lot easier. But as for now, I just people can just message me on there.
Yep.
Respond to my stories for those appointments. I have a couple openings in November.
Okay.
October's pretty full, but yeah, that's the best place to start.
Okay, and we can like link you.
Yeah.
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 How about you?
You can go to my website, scanlonconnections.com, and there's an energy alignment section. So in that area, I talk more about Reiki, empowerment card readings, chakra alignment, and I also have some quick tools to help you. So there's a few places of like Reiki on the go, right?
Okay.
What can help you just find some of these quick hacks when you're feeling that you need more alignment. You can always email me at scanlonconnections@gmail.com.
Yeah, and you're going to
And
do
I'm
Reiki
at Mind Body
training.
Yoga.
Yeah.
So you
Oh
can
yeah,
find
so
me
am I.
there.
There as
Yeah,
well.
so
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm as well.
This is where
Oh.
you can,
Yeah,
but you're
and
doing a Reiki training.
We have a Reiki 1 certification training at Mind Body on October 18th. So would love if you want to learn more about Reiki, contact me. Happy to talk about it and about the upcoming training that's really focused on self-healing and learning more about yourself.
Yeah, people are excited
expand.
about it.
Yeah.
And then
so.
what about you, Wanda?
Yeah. Well, I have a website. It's Agua y Fuego Medicinal. So that means water and fire. So if you forgot, that's in Spanish. Medicinals, and that's in English. And I also, have a presence on Facebook and Instagram, and it's the same at Agua y Fuego Medicinal. So that's easy. And I teach classes in herbalism. If you want to just learn a little bit, just kind of like curious, I teach basic classes. But if you, would like a consultation, I can do that. You can, do a contact through the website or send me an email.
Yeah, and you're coming to the studio
And I'm coming to your
to
studio.
boost your immunity.
Yeah.
At the end of the month.
I'm
Oh
so
my gosh,
excited.
that's so great
Yes.
for October.
We're going to have it
Yeah.
at the end of the month, and it's going to be how to boost your immunity with herbs.
Yeah. And
I'm
that's
so
very important
excited.
because, like we get into that season, right? Like that everybody gets sick. So just try to like be healthy in the season and keep your little ones, if you do have, healthy too. So
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Carla.
We could probably talk forever.
Yeah.
But I think we've got, a good conversation starter for anybody listening. You have, these wonderful people to reach out to. If you have questions, you can reach out to them personally. And we just hope to continue to share our knowledge and, do what we do best is help other people.
Yeah.
So,
thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you.
so welcome. This was great.
It really was. I liked it.
We did it.
We did it.
Good job. All right, you guys.
Yeah, it goes really fast.
Okay.
Yeah, it
It goes
does.
so fast.
So fast.
But like last time we were talking for like